Do you honestly believe that our borders are closed?
Senator, I do.
Here with us now, Texas Congressman August Pfluger, who just returned from a visit to the border in Del Rio, Texas. Congressman Pfluger also sits on the House Homeland Security and Foreign Affairs Committees. You know, I was just looking, I know you're from San Angelo, and so people know, I've been down to Del Rio, and just to get kind of the lay of the land for people, you've got about 35,000 people in Del Rio, Texas. On the other side is Ciudad Acuña, which is like 200,000 people. You've got 15,000 people from Haiti under a bridge over in Del Rio. And so you've seen all this unfolding. I wanted to get your thoughts about how you stop that.
Well, isn't it unbelievable to hear the secretary say that he thinks the border is closed? And today I had a meeting. It was a briefing, not a full hearing, but with senior level officials in DHS. And I asked them a very simple question. Is our border secure? And yes, they said it was. And I said, I want you to come to Del Rio with me. And you're right. 35,000 people, their population has increased by 40% in 1 week. What you're seeing right now, I was right there on Saturday. I saw and talked to the 15,000 illegal immigrants who were inside the United States. Many of whom, I mean, this is such a human tragedy, but to think that our leadership in the Homeland Security Department think that our border is actually closed is just unbelievable. It couldn't be further from being closed right now.
Yeah, it's like they don't want us to believe what we're seeing with our own eyes. The administration also doesn't even appear to have a good handle on exactly how many people are coming across and how many are being apprehended. Listen to this dramatic exchange with Senator Johnson.
And I want some numbers here. So we've got 1.3 million people. How many people have been returned? How many people are being detained? How many people have been dispersed to all points around America?
Senator, I would be pleased to provide you with that data.
I want them now. Why don't you have that information now?
Senator, I do not have that data.
Why not?
For me.
Why don't you have that basic information?
So, Congressman, I did hear today, though, that there is video of people being returned on these flights back to Haiti, and that it's not, in fact, just single men, that there were some families being put on these planes to be returned. So that's a change from what we heard yesterday. But what is your reaction to them either not knowing or not willing to share the amount of numbers we're talking about?
Well, it's no surprise. They have been so... I guess the lack of transparency and misleading in their remarks. And here's my question for them. Why do we have a selective enforcement policy of either Title 42 or deportations? Why is it only Haitians that are being deported? You know, you have to remember, I talked to 50 or 60 of these people on Saturday, the same ones that you are showing right now under that bridge. I talked to them. They have been in Central America and South America for 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer. They heard the border was open. Social media channels said that the border was open, and they basically rushed it. In fact, one of the witnesses today said that they bum rushed our border, which is exactly right. So, yes, they've increased flights, and some family units are being deported, but why are we selectively deporting people and not applying this across the entire spectrum of the crisis? And we need the administration. Where is the vice president? Why is she not involved in this? The president says he's going to get it under control, which is obviously not true. They are nowhere near getting this situation under control.
Congressman, what is the impact when this happens? I mean, obviously we see these people, it's 100 degrees down there, not a good situation. We all get that, and that's a problem. But sometimes it seems to me people ignore what happens once they get across the border, once these people are told, you have a date to show up, and then they don't show up, 80% of them. What happens to the economies in South Texas?
Well, the human impact to start with is tragic because most of these people have to live underneath the radar in kind of a criminal type mindset where, you know, they're not going to show up for their court dates. I mean, there's statistics to show that it's way less than 10% that will. And then just look at the impact, and many of the Border Patrol agents said this and voiced this, but the impact to now the other cartels and those that are out there that are benefiting from moving these people from Central America and South America to the United States. they're taking note and they understand that it's pretty easy right now to get in. In fact, many of the immigrants said it's easier to get into the United States than it is to get into Mexico on their southern border, than it is to get into some of the Northern Triangle countries. And so the impact, not just to our local communities of more drugs, more violent crimes, and issues of our DPS troopers being pulled away, it is so sad to see the administration has abandoned Texas and other border states and our local communities, just like Del Rio.
Yeah, but interesting when you talk about Vice President Harris, who her role that she admitted to was dealing with the Northern Triangle countries, and a lot of these folks from Haiti, they haven't come directly from Haiti, as you mentioned. They've been hanging out in Central America until they got the word that now is the time to come.
Let me just mention one story that I talked to 4 people from Cuba. They got word that it was open, and it took them 40 hours to go from Cuba to Panama, Panama to Del Rio. That's how quickly this can happen. They're getting the message it's open, they're reacting to it, and people are profiting off that. We need to be investigating that. The administration has to be held accountable. Enough is enough.
Congressman Pfluger, thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.